Day 650 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 1903, largest odd number in string. The difficulty level is easy, so you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, hype, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. You are given a string num representing a large integer. Return the largest valued odd integer as a string that is a non-empty substring of num, or an empty string if no odd integer exists. A substring is a contiguous sequence of characters within a string. All right, y'all, so that sounds simple enough, but let's go ahead and take a look at these examples anyway, just to make sure that we are doing this problem correctly. So in example 1, we have our input num equals a string 52. The output is 5. Explanation says the only non-empty substrings are 5 and 2 and 52. 5 is the only odd number. So just to break this down one step further, right, what we want to do is we want to return the largest valued odd integer as a string that is a non-empty substring of num, right? So it lists the substrings right here. 5, we could just do this regular 5, we could just do this regular 2, or we can combine them in 52. Now 2 and 52 are even, and 52 are even numbers. We want the largest odd number, right? Largest valued odd integer as a string that is a non-empty substring, right? And that in this case would be 5 because this is a string. This is even and this is even. This is the only odd substring, so that's why we return 5. Because being though that it's the only odd substring, that means it's also the largest odd substring. So that's why the output is 5. Boom. Now, just in case that didn't make sense, let's take a look at example 2. So in example 2, our input num equals a string 4,206. The output is just a blank string. Explanation says there are no odd numbers in 4,206. So in this input right here, as you can see, all of the digits are even. 4 is even, 2 is even, 0 is even, and 6 is even, right? So that means we can't even create a substring out of this that is odd, right? So since there are no odd elements or integers in this number at all, and the number is even, then we can just return a blank string. Now let's take a look at example 3. So in example 3, our input num is a string 35,427. The output is 35,427. Explanation says 35,427 is already an odd number. So this right here this number is going to be the whole substring, right? We could break it up into smaller ones, but once again, we want the largest substring, right? Or the largest odd value substring. So in this case, this is the number itself. That means it'll also be the largest if it is odd, right? So since this is odd already and all of the other substrings, it would be impossible to get an odd number larger than what we already have. We could just return what we already have, which is 35,427. Boom, y'all. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. And now that we understand the question, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. Solution is not that difficult at all. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a set containing all odd digits. We're going to using a set is going to allow big O1 lookup time when checking if a digit is odd. So we'll just declare constant called odds. We're going to say colon is going to be a set less than character greater than, so a set of characters, and we're just going to initialize it with a set, and we're going to pass in the odd numbers. So open up the parentheses, we're going to pass 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Boom. So now we know what the odd numbers are, or odd digits, integers are from 1 through 10. Boom. So now we're going to search from right to left for the last occurrence of an odd digit. So the last index where is going to return the index of the last character that satisfies the given condition. So we'll say if let last equals num dot last index, open up the parentheses, where colon, open up the brackets, we're going to say odds dot contains, open up the parentheses, $0. Then we're going to come outside of this right here, Open up some brackets, and if an odd digit is found, we're going to return the substring from the start of the string up to and including that index. This ensures the resulting number is the largest possible odd number. So we'll come right here and say return string, open up the parentheses, we'll say num, square bracket, dot, 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 last. Boom. Now, if no odd digit exists in the string, it is impossible to form an odd number. So we could come right here, and we're going to say return, return, and put an empty string like this. Boom. So let's give this a run. Make sure it runs properly before we submit it, because we all know how LeetCode could be. It's accepted, so let's go ahead and submit it. Drum roll, please. And look at that, y'all. 7 milliseconds beats 92.86% of users. Not too bad at all, y'all. So, with that being said, I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. I'll see y'all then.